Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Nino Brown Boxing, I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, man. So this is my segment of the 2018 Fight of the Year. Who does Nino Brown Boxing? What two fighters do I think had the best fight of the year? I was thinking about this for a while, and I try to figure out what is my criteria for the fight of the year. I know whatever fight that I decided to go with, I didn't want it to have like any scandals surrounding it. I didn't want it to have any ducking involved in it. I wanted to be the best, fighting the best in the weight class and titles on the line. So that means unification. I say that because my criteria for fight of the year, it has to be exciting fight, evenly matched fight, with great arguments from both of the opponents to beat the other guy. Like no one-sided bullshit, nothing like that. On top of that, it needs to be the top guys in the division with multiple belts on the line. So a unification match. Now, the other criteria I was basing it off of is excitement, you know, stylistic nightmares. What else I was saying? Like knockdowns in the fight, knockouts. And like I was saying at first, like no controversy. I don't want any failed drug tests involved. I don't want any ducking involved. So this guy, he wanted to freeze out another guy. Like none of that shit. I didn't want any of that involved in my fight of the year. So I broke it down to a couple of fights. One fight being Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. That was the first fight that popped in my head for the simple fact that I remember like all of these emotions going through my head watching the fight. I was extremely nervous. I was rooting for Deontay Wilder, but I really liked Luis Ortiz as well. So we all know how that fight ended. It was an exciting fight. Deontay Wilder got hurt in the fight. He knocked Luis Ortiz down. He had a man drooling. It was just a phenomenal heavyweight bout. And also the other fight that I had on there was Jarrett Hurd versus Erislandy Lara. Now, I decided after thinking about this, that's why this video is coming today. It is the last day of the year, it's New Year's Eve. I decided to go with the Hurd-Lara fight because it was a unification bout, and neither one of the guys in that fight, that being Lara or Hurd, has the potential or has shown that they have the ability to knock out every single man that they've been in the ring with. Now, Lara and Luis Ortiz both have shown that they have the Cuban school of boxing background, the Cuban background. They're wonderful boxers. They both have the superior boxing ability in their weight class, in my opinion. So Erislandy Lara for 154 and Luis Ortiz for heavyweight. But the thing about that fight, it was just a title defense for Deontay Wilder. The Jarrett Hurd, Erislandy Lara fight, that was unification. To me, that was a fight that definitely it was a deciding factor who's the best fighter at 154. Some people wanted to joke, like at that point in time, they wanted to throw the Jermell Charlo fight in there, but just based off how the 154-pound division formed, based off of what I've said in previous videos, that Jermell Charlo had an opportunity to unify before Jarrett Hurd had the opportunity.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
And we all know that the Charlo brothers came up with Erislandy Lara. So I feel like it was just the best fight. It was an exciting fight. It was a stylistic matchup. It was a stylistic nightmare for Jarrett Hurd. We all know Jarrett Hurd gets hit a lot. We know he has a granite chin. And we know if he's in a fight, it's always an exciting fight. Especially when you have Erislandy Lara, a fighter that a lot of people tend not to like. You know, they talk shit about Lara. They say he's in a boring fight. But Lara's one of those guys, if you put him in a position to fight, he will fight. And now, I was like thinking about those two fights, the Wilder Ortiz and the Hurd Lara fight. I thought about something that I feel like it's a trend when it comes to Deontay Wilder and Jarrett Hurd. One of the common things that both of these fights had in common was the fact that people always say Hurd lacks skill and Wilder lacks skill. But when it comes to pound for pound skill, Erislandy Lara and Luis Ortiz are some of the most skilled fighters in boxing, hands down. We're talking about offense, defense, the ability to laterally move around the ring. It's just the overall intelligence. Their pedigree in boxing is definitely superior to the majority of the fighters out here. Now, in order to beat these guys, you have to have skill. In order to wear these guys down, you have to have skill. In order to, especially for Jarrett Hurd in his fight, in order to take Erislandy Lara out of his comfort zone and what he's traditionally known to do, it takes skill. In order for Deontay Wilder to land that right hand on Luis Ortiz, even though going in the fight, everyone's saying that, well, only thing Wilder has is his right hand, and Luis Ortiz openly knows this, it takes skill to do that. So I believe Jarrett Hurd and Deontay Wilder, I feel like their skill set is different, and I feel like the skills that they have, it may not be the traditional skills that everyone's used to speaking of, but they definitely are skilled fighters. But my pick for the fight of the year definitely goes to Erislandy Lara and Jarrett Hurd. So the winner of that fight was Jarrett Hurd, my guy. Some people may say, oh, you only choosing Jarrett Hurd because that's your hometown guy. But I feel like if Luis Ortiz had a belt, I definitely would have chosen the Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz fight over Jarrett Hurd and Lara. It's just that fight with Lara and Hurd, it was a bigger statement for their division. Now I feel like Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, it was a big statement for the heavyweight division, but it didn't change much. Like, it didn't change the landscape when it came to like the future. We all know Deontay Wilder is a force to be reckoned with prior to that fight, and after that fight, Deontay Wilder is even more known for that. It's like, okay, no one can say that Wilder has never fought anyone. He stopped Luis Ortiz, and he beat Luis Ortiz in more devastating fashion than Hurd beat Erislandy Lara. But that was just my deciding factor. It was a unification bout, and me personally, I'm all about undisputed. And some people say, well, if you're all about undisputed, why not Usyk? It's just me personally. I didn't feel like his competition level was up to the Ortiz competition level when it comes to facing Wilder and the Erislandy Lara competition level. And that's just how I feel about it. I mean, this is an opinion-based video, and I'm not even a big fan of the cruiserweight division, even though I feel like they should get more respect. But it is what it is. I picked Jarrett Hurd and Erislandy Lara. I would definitely love to see the rematch of that fight one day. And I've said it in previous videos, the way I would want this to go down when it comes to the 154-pound division is simple. Jarrett Hurd fights Tony Harrison, and they unify the WBC, the IBF, the WBA, and even the bullshit IBO belt. And on the undercard, you have Lord Charlo. Have them two fight. And then if they can't get Jaime Munguia in the ring, then the winner of the Jarrett Hurd Tony Harrison fight fights the winner of the Erislandy Lara Jamel Charlo fight. I think that would be a wonderful fight, and I think that would be one of the things that the 154-pound division will continue to separate itself from the rest of the weight classes, because the top guys are actually fighting one another. I feel like that would be a great card, and honestly, I feel like even though I don't think Tony Harrison is a pay-per-view star, I feel like if you load that undercard up, you can definitely make that a pay-per-view fight. So I'm saying Jarrett Hurd, Tony Harrison main event, co-main event, Lara, Charlo. You can throw Gary Russell on the card, but no one wants to fight Gary Russell. Some of the top guys on the card, I never want to see Jamel and Jamal Charlo on the same card again. But yeah, man, that's
Watch
just how I
out,
feel.
vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
This is my take on boxing at the end of 2018. This is most likely our last video of 2018. So hopefully we get the fights that we won in 2019. I know PBC already has a schedule out, but we'll see what the next half will be for 2018. It'll go into the second quarter. But this Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Be safe tonight. Have some fun. I will have my black ass in the house with my girl with a few friends over, and we're gonna be on some chill shit. I did not work today. I don't work tomorrow because it's a holiday, and I most likely won't be working the day after tomorrow because I am a government contractor. I said plenty of times I work in IT, and I am furloughed right now. So I just go to the gym. I work on my business. If you don't know, I got a cleaning business in the DMV area, so I work on that. And I'm just chilling until I go back to work on my regular day job. But it's Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC.
Watch out, vehicle